Hi, this is Christina Burton, and this is my EDL 852 case study. So Section 1, a summary of the case. Newly hired middle school principal for the rural community of Lightville Community School District, Susan Potter, is facing a potential conflict with the collaborative process she wishes to follow in creating the school's mission and vision statement. There are currently two schools within the district, a K-6 building that is 22 years old, and a 7 through 12 building that was built 11 years later. Due to the increasing enrollment, space has become an issue. Superintendent Joe Rawlings brought in an architectural firm to study the space issue and help come up with some solutions. The firm had three solutions to the school's limited space problem. The first being to build an addition to the 7 through 12 building and move the 6th grade to it. The second, to build additions to both schools. And the third, to build a new middle school for grades 6 through 8. The architect firm recommended building a new building for grades 6 through 8, as this provided the most favorable and long-term education solution. The superintendent agreed and urged the school board to consider. The new building proposal passed with a 4-to-1 vote by the school board and with 53% of the community voters agreeing. The new building is controversial, as most residents believed no additional construction would be needed for another 40 years. A little more about the summary. The newly hired Principal Potter will now have to help make staffing decisions for the new building, as well as organize school programs and curriculum and collaborate with building architects. After getting input from the superintendent and school board, Principal Potter appoints 4 teachers and 4 parents to serve on the committee called the Visioning and Planning Committee. Principal Potter wishes to be involved in the committee, but does not feel it is best to be the committee chair. After presenting guidelines for the committee agreed to the guidelines, but not to Principal Potter being a committee member instead of the committee chair. They felt she was the most qualified, but agreed to honor her request. Helen Berkey, a teacher who happens to be the sister of a school board member, is appointed committee chair instead. Ms. Berkey agrees to the position as long as Principal Potter helps. The two disagreed on how to begin the committee's first major task of creating a mission and vision statement. Ms. Berkey felt that Principal Potter should create them, given her leadership experience, while Principal Potter, however, disagreed and felt the process should include all members of the committee's input. They addressed the matter at the next committee meeting. The committee did not agree with Principal Potter's idea of collaboratively creating the mission and vision statement. Ms. Berkey reiterated that the community expects her to lead. She stated that once the committee is finished with their work, all stakeholders will embrace the new vision statement. Section 2, legal or ethical issues. Fortunately, no legal matter is concerned, as no laws have been broken and there's no breach of contract or harm committed. There are ethical matters at hand. There's a conflict between Ms. Berkey, Helen, the committee chair, and the newly hired middle school principal, Susan Potter. Ms. Berkey and Principal Potter disagree on the principle of collaboration involved in the vision statement planning process. The committee did act democratically, as outlined in the agreed-upon committee guidelines established by Principal Potter. However, it did appear that Ms. Berkey heavily influenced the committee's decision on how to create and implement the school's mission and vision statement. Principal Potter displayed excellent ethical leadership when approaching the committee with her concerns about creating the mission and vision alone, as she conveyed her principles, values, and beliefs and the benefits of collaboration. Section 3, Synthesize. To put it precisely, newly hired middle school principal Susan Potter is faced with handling a conflict between her and the Mission Vision Committee and committee chair. Should she accept their wishes and vote to have her create the school's mission and vision statement alone? Or should she reevaluate and explore ways to accomplish her collaborative idea of creating a mission and vision statement with the help of fellow staff members? Section 4, Synthesize. The people, place, and program will shape Principal Potter's decision in how to handle the conflict of creating the school's mission and vision statement. There are 3 categories to look at here: the people involved, the place, and the program. The people involved. There are no students. There's 4 teachers on the committee, one being Dan Kelby, a PE teacher who did vocalize agreement with Helen, 4 parents on the committee, 2 of which vocalized agreement with Helen, Helen Berkey, the English and Social Studies teacher and committee chair, who's also a sister of a current school board member, Susan Potter, the new middle school principal, and Joe Rawlings, the superintendent. The place where this is all occurring is Lightville Community School District, which encompasses 2 rural townships. 60% of residents live on farms here. There are 2 school buildings. There's a K-6 building and a 7 through 12 building, both located 2 miles from the town of Lightville and 10 miles from a major city in the next county. Both school buildings face space issues as enrollment grows. And the program, they're looking at a new building, which would house grades 6 through 8. This is a public school, and Susan Potter, the newly hired principal for the middle school, must make program and curriculum decisions. Section 5, review and prioritize the info. The conflict could be damaging to stakeholders and the community, as the mission and vision statements establish the foundation upon which schools outline their values and objectives. These values and objectives are what gives the community and parents a concise overview of the school. An effective mission statement explains the organization's purpose, direction, and how it will function. The mission and vision is so important that it should absolutely be developed before a school opens. One cannot place enough emphasis on their creation. The students have the most at stake here, as they are the ones that are impacted the most by the mission and vision statements. The immediate stakeholders on the committee have been consulted, but no others have been consulted at this time. I don't know enough to make a decision currently, but I believe more input is needed at this time to make a decision. So exploring some options. I could explore a few options in trying to resolve the conflict with Helen Berkey and how to move forward with creating the vision and mission, as there are other ways to create a mission and vision. Each option will take into consideration if this will help student success and well-being and foster collaborative effort amongst staff. Option 1, I accept the outcome from the committee meeting and begin creating the mission and vision statements alone. Option 2, I expand the committee by inviting more teachers to join to allow for more collaborative input. Option 3, I speak with the members of the committee privately to discuss the matter and then follow up with a revote. Option 4, I survey all school staff on the core values to gather more input. So let's evaluate these options. I will examine each option's advantages and disadvantages to see if they support student learning, promote the success and well-being of all students and staff, and promote collaboration. Option 1, which was to accept the committee's decision of me creating the mission and vision alone. The advantages, I please the members of the committee, including Helen. The disadvantages, there won't be a sense of belonging or community buy-in without collaboration. The committee could also interpret my acceptance for weakness and think I'm easily persuaded with all matters. Option 2, that was expanding the committee to invite other teachers to join. The advantages, I establish my ability as a leader to explore all options. Part of being a good leader is being a community builder and knowing connections are necessary. Disadvantages, I may upset some members of the current committee. Option 3, this was speaking with members of the committee privately. Advantages, part of being a visionary leader is being clear about what he or she believes and knows to be best for students' well-being and success. Sharing these beliefs with other stakeholders is essential. In this case, I shared them in front of the committee, but now I would like to share them in a more one-on-one setting. The disadvantages, again, I could upset the members of the committee. Option 4, which was surveying all school staff. The advantages, I'm creating an environment in which all staff believe in the mission and vision statements, hence creating an environment for more buy-in. The disadvantages, I upset members of the committee. So choosing the best option. Choosing the best option requires careful reflection. After careful consideration and reflection, it's clear that options 1 and 3 do not benefit students' well-being and success, nor do they foster collaboration amongst all stakeholders. The best option is going to be a combination of options 2 and 4, extending the committee to include more staff, allowing for more collaboration, and surveying all staff to include all stakeholders. It is important to build a sense of community and involve all stakeholders when creating and implementing the school mission and vision. Involving stakeholders will allow for more data to be collected, more investment from all staff, better sense of connection from staff to the mission and vision, and better promotion and focus on student success and well-being from all involved. Section 9, the action plan. The course of action is determined by the need for collaboration amongst all stakeholders, student success, data-driven input, and staff buy-in. Step 1, I will first communicate to the committee at my next meeting for my reasoning for choosing my option. We have the time to make changes in the staff expertise to foster collaboration. We must allow for staff buy-in and interest in order to create an environment that fosters student and staff success. Next, for step 2, I will survey all staff to allow for more data input, such as student performance, budgets, student community makeup, and test scores. The more data available helps for creating the best mission and vision that will be relatable, attainable, and foster the most student and staff success. And last, step 3, I will extend committee invites to 4 more teachers. Such a big project demands a need for more collaborative input. Section 9 continued. So what may happen now? I feel confident about the steps taken thus far as I have followed the ethical decision-making model. The members of the committee, especially Helen, may be upset that I changed the course of action. Their viewpoint of having me create the mission and vision alone is not entirely uncommon. However, most stakeholders want to give input. They want to be heard and included. I will speak with Helen first, then approach the rest of the committee at the next meeting. I plan on communicating in a non-threatening way that my expertise suggests that in going forward, we need all stakeholders involved to ensure we have a mission and vision statement that allows for the well-being and success of each student. If we do not follow this option, we will surely face issues that will create tension, conflict, and lack of success. A plan B if this does not work out. If combining options 2 and 4 do not work in resolving the conflict, it would then be time to work up the chain of command and involve the superintendent to find out what the next best course of action is and to gain his expertise and knowledge. Next, I would establish team norms for the newly expanded committee. Team norms shape interactions as they act as a set of rules, principles, and agreed upon behavior for how the work will get done. Establishing team norms will allow for a positive work environment and a system of organizational policies to help guide the committee in future decision making. Here are my resources. Thank you.